Hi, this is Michael Short, and in this episode, I have Nick Fisher from Financial Web Pro, and he's been a very active member in our group. I know he's in the beginning stages of developing his WaaS, and so I have him on with this interview so we could discuss kind of his thoughts, his goals, and what he's experienced so far. So, Nick, can you give us a little introduction of where you've been and where you are?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Financial Web Pro, it sort of stemmed off what I was trying to start maybe a couple of years ago. I had Busy Press sort of going on the back of WordPress, and it was a generic, agency where I was trying to get everyone under the sun, under the WaaS model. But then I sort of delve a little deeper and found that niching is the way to go. So I looked at different industries, but the one that I kept coming back to for some weird reason, I don't know, maybe it was just my involvement in the industry, is the finance sector. So bookkeepers and accountants. The reason I chose this niche is purely because they're a sector that appreciates value and money. And if you're good at what you do, I know they've got money to spend. So I sort of rolled with accountants and bookkeepers because of that. So knowing that they were, they run a business, they make money, so I know they've got money to spend. That's pretty much why I sort of went in that direction.
Yeah, that makes total sense to me. You want to go where the money is, and
Yeah,
they have a need for websites as well. So
exactly, and they're busy enough to say, "Look, we could do this ourselves, but we don't want to." Which is why I've completely removed the idea of a page builder, because people in this game, they're either going to do one of two things: either churn very quickly because they just ain't got the time, or two, they're going to palm this off as a project to someone in an administrative role, and you want to make it as easy as possible for them to get it and run with it. I'm removing the whole DIY and making it more customer focused. And I'm using, I haven't decided quite yet, because I've literally scrapped everything that I built and starting again. I'm starting fresh. I was using Divi, and now I'm changing to Astra, because it's more of a lightweight theme and very easy to edit.
You mentioned that you were going to get away from page builders. How do you plan to accomplish that as far as being able to change content?
Great question. Because I want to make it as less DIY as I can, I'm using like a sticky note system, and there's a couple of programs I'm looking into. One of them is, wrote it down, Project Huddle.io, and there's also another one which looks really cool. I'm considering it's about $59 a month, but it's called Userback, where they can log into their site and it gives them a little widget in the bottom of the screen to basically click on areas of the website that they're not keen on or want edited. And I get notified every time they do that. So, it just basically shows me where they've clicked on and said, let's say, for example, a header in the title isn't what they wanted to say. They just click on that and they change it to what they want. I make the edit, it gets approved, bang, done. So it's still them making the changes they want, but it's still me doing it. So there's a lot of interfacing between myself, or as I scale, the editors or the designers.
So when they sign up, are they going to have access to a dashboard, at least to?
I'm going to use admin UI. I'm definitely going to do that. Get them started in the right direction, putting in their logo, colors, fonts, all that sort of stuff.
Oh,
so
good.
They still feel like they're part of it, but we, in essence, are going to be creating it for them. In my experience, the more hands-on you are, or the more hands-on you can be on the onboarding, the less the churn. So
Yeah, that makes sense. That's actually the experience that we've had internally as well, where we just kind of converted over from transition from DIY, as you probably already know from the group and whatnot, and we're now just doing everything for our clients. And it seems to be making a lot more sense. Like our clients are happy with, they're more happy with our services, and they're not
Yeah.
going anywhere. They're sticking. It makes a lot more sense. I like the
Yeah.
idea of the user back and the other one, project title. Did you have a chance to try that code that I sent you? Not code, but like how to be able to add it to the back end of your site?
Not yet, because I'm completely scrubbing Divi. I'm literally starting from scratch. So once I get, I've got an agency model client who is actually a Le Mans race car driver, which is pretty cool.
Oh, that is way cool. Awesome.
Yeah, I'll send you a couple of videos of him driving a Ferrari. It's awesome. He's doing final payment at the beginning of April. So once that kicks in, I'm going all out. Admin UI, Astra, bang, just getting it all done and start from scratch. I think it's going to be a lot cleaner than what it was by doing that, instead of doing things in stages. If I can just get everything going in the one go, it'll be a smoother and easier transition, I think. So
yeah, that makes sense. What about like features? Because I would imagine in the financial sector they're going to have specific requirements that they might.
So I've looked at a couple of different ways I'm going to do this. One is having people start off with a startup payment plan, $67-ish a month. That just gets them the website. But I'm also adding, what's it called? Groundhog.
Groundhog? Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to jack that up to $147 a month. So you get a 5-page website and one landing page with the 67. 147 gets you everything. It gets you the social proof. It gets you the automated marketing. It gets you the CRM. It gets you all of that. So, I mean, I had a look around, man, and to tell you the truth, Groundhog offers so much value, because if you were to grab everything that Groundhog can do separately and not centralized as it would be with Groundhog, you're using 7 to 10 different programs. You're spending around $700 US a month. And to get all that in one spot, centralized for $147, if an accountant can't find that valuable, I don't know who will.
I agree 100%. Totally. It makes perfect sense to incorporate that Groundhog into your WAS. That's definitely something.
100%. And they'd be a fool not to take advantage of it. So that's where I'm headed. That sort of pricing area. I did take some notes. Yeah, I had a look at multiple different plugins and softwares. Like you're looking at lead pages, for example. You're looking at Infusionsoft. You're looking at just a number of different things that can run into hundreds a month. And yeah, as I said, it's not centralized. You've got about 8 different tabs open, and you're getting not all the data in one spot.
Yeah, you're trying to integrate it all from when you have one action, it's supposed to do something to something else. Like it's all
exactly
much easier to set up.
And that's the cool thing about Groundhog.
Yeah, absolutely. And they have templates too, or you can save your whole entire project as a template and incorporate it and import it into other projects too. So that's really nice as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think Groundhog is definitely a good find. I kind of wish that was my plugin I created. It's pretty amazing.
Don't we all?
Yeah. So,
no, it's definitely a game changer in this space, I think, because it's literally allowing you to centralize, as I said, instead of have everything everywhere.
Yeah.
And for a fraction of the cost too.
The only concern that I have, which is yet to be seen, is how much.
I'm going to have a wild stab at this. I'm going to say the emailing and text.
Yeah. That was an issue.
Credit
still
system.
Is, I'm sure.
That is a worry for me as well.
Yep. But also like having so many offers or so many things for them to be able to do, whether they do it themselves or you offer it and you do it as a service for them. It's just that whole technical side of you're adding more features that could break, And so that's the only other concern that I have to, like email is not sending properly, or
Mm.
just things like that. But that's me and devil's advocate. That's not trying to be a pessimist. I definitely still think it's worth giving it a go, and I think it'll be
Yeah.
worth it in the long run for sure.
No, I hear that. It's definitely a concern I've had, and how to manage that, how to manage the credits, how to.
Yeah, I think
It's
that's going to require a plug-in for sure.
yeah.
Like they're going to have to incorporate something, and they said that that wasn't even on their roadmap. So maybe we'll have to take
It's
a look at
not
that. Yeah, that's what he said.
really.
Right.
Oh, if he wants it to work for WAS, it's something they're really going to have to take on board.
Yeah, it might be something
But
we could
I
take on
think if
board.
they do that, um, it'll be another big game changer. I mean, it's a game changer as it is, but if we can have it a reporting system or
A
a buying
limitation or
system,
something. Yeah,
yeah,
where
yeah,
they limit how many credits they can use unless they purchased a certain dollar amount or whatever.
exactly. Because the whole aim of us doing what we're doing is to purely make it easier, right? And you don't want to make it more complicated. And yeah, so that's definitely something I think they need to address sooner than later. Um, if they want the good chunk of WASs to jump on board, they have to.
Yeah, which I don't know if we're a big enough market for them quite yet, but there is more and more people definitely getting into this game, and it'll
Mm,
eventually be a requirement for them. But even
yeah.
if they don't do it, we'll do it as WaaS-Pro most likely, just because we want to incorporate it and we don't want to sit around and wait for someone else to develop something
No,
that
that's not like you to sit and wait.
we. No, it's not. So, yep, it's exciting stuff that's coming down the pike. So you've totally scratched your entire process so far. So
Yeah.
how much time did you have into it before you had made this decision to switch over?
It was about a 6 month process, but I just kept getting bug after bug, or just randomly pages that I had up and running were just they changed like the format, and I'm like, what is going on? And apparently this is a common thing with Divi, because it's such a heavy theme with so many years of code in the back end. It just occasionally splurts out crap, literally, and
Wow.
will change the front end, and then you're going, oh crap! No, now I've got to get on with their support, which is so
Hmm.
slow. Um,
And you can't
like
have a
I
network
won't
running
hear
sometimes.
from them for maybe 2 days, and it just got to a breaking point where I'm like, I can't do this anymore. If I'm really trying to build something of value and scale it, it needs to be fluid. It needs to just work. And I just got sick of everything breaking all the time.
Yeah, especially if you're not doing anything different and it just breaks on its
No,
own.
exactly,
That's the
exactly.
worst. Yeah, absolutely. Now
Like,
you're switching over to Astra, and I know you're not giving your customers. You mentioned you're not giving your customers access to a page builder, but you're going to need to build it in some kind of page builder. Do you have plans which one you're going to use?
definitely Elementor.
Yeah.
It just seems to be the most user friendly, in my opinion. Um, but it'll be purely me using it and the note system for the clients. So
Yeah.
yeah, on my end, I'll be using Elementor with Astra.
Yeah, Elementor is very efficient. Like you can create templates very fast. There's just so much that you
Mm,
could do with it. And the copy sections, copy just all kind. Like you can just take it from one tab to another tab. I haven't seen that personally in any other page builder. That's why we're sticking with it.
yeah,
And but unlike actually, I thought about using Project Huddle. We have that one. I believe it's one of the LTDs that I purchased, and we're thinking about incorporating that as well, but still giving them access to the page builder. Just because I
yeah,
feel like there's some people that still want to have some sort of like they're more middle of the night. They come up with some kind of epiphany and they want to make a change real quick to their site, but they have
mm,
that ability. But uh, I don't know. I wonder how much that's few and far between those two, because really I've noticed even since we transitioned, like people are more than happy to just send me emails and tell us what to change for them. It's just
yeah,
the only thing that really becomes the challenge is trying to manage customer expectation and keep from feature creep. From them saying, okay, I want to change this, or I sent you this, but I don't like it. Now that I see it, I want to change that. And so that
yeah,
becomes a little bit of a challenge too, because there's not a whole lot of margin built into or built the pricing for trying to make it
edits and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, volume and speed, efficiency. So
To be completely honest, with something like Project Huddle or Userback, I think there is the element of they are doing it enough to a point where it kind of is DIY, but we're just making the change.
yeah, the changes
So
just don't get
it's
implemented.
still them
Yeah,
doing it. It's just not them doing it, if that makes sense.
yeah, that makes total sense.
And the fact that you're sort of you're looking after them, and there's more back and forth between you and them. They see value. That's
Yeah.
my take on it. Anyway,
Well,
I'm also looking at potentially not just those two price tiers, maybe adding a third, which can boost things dramatically. And I got this from Jason's talk, which is adding local SEO. And there's a UK company that can white label this for something like £300 a month. And so I'm investigating that. I did save the URL. I'll share it with the group later today. But I was looking at sort of moving in the direction of even $6.99 a month. It gets you the website. It gets you Groundhog. It gets you local SEO. Because you got to remember that most businesses are local businesses. They want to attract people in their own community, not so much SEO to the fullest. They want to specifically target their local area. So, I mean, even with that, if I can do $700 a month and farm that work out, there's another $300 revenue I'm making, right? Yeah. So yeah, 67, 147. That gets you everything, and then adding the SEO, I think, will be a game changer too, especially if I can find the right company that I can farm that out to.
yeah.
Then I'm cooking with gas, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So how long do you think you have in it before you go live? I know you're just starting over. What do you foresee it taking you to get this?
Well, I already know what I want it to say and what it to look like. So it's literally just putting it together, making sure everything looks good. And if I head down, bum up, and go hard, I reckon within 1 to 2 weeks it should be live. Maybe even sooner. It
That'd
just
be
depends.
awesome.
Yeah.
How many templates do you plan on launching with?
I only want to start with 6,
Okay.
3 and 3. I think the more choice you give people, the less likely action is taken. If you've got A, you've got B, choose. People are more likely to make a choice in my mind. I think if I went crazy and had, 5 rows of 3, 15 different templates, people are going to be like, what do I choose? Like I said, the whole game of this is to make things easier and make choices easier for people. But you want to make the choices easy enough for them to say, here's my credit card, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we started with 6 as well. And then I don't know if you've seen my story, but we we started with like one niche, and then we realized that it's really narrowing it down too much. So we opened it up to more of auto care instead of paintless dent repair only. So people that also have car washes, detailing, and all that. And so since we've done that, so our PDRs have 6 templates, but each of those other niches that we've kind of expanded into each have 3 as well. I think 3 is that magic number. I give
it tends to be.
Yeah.
It's easier to see on a screen too, 3.
Yeah, it is. It's easier to, you don't want to do 4, it's too small. 3 is a good size. 2 is too
3 gives them a good size and a good enough an idea to basically see what it's going to do for them. I think with everything in this model, 3 is a good number because it's just easier to understand. It's big enough on the screen, and you don't want to, like I said, inundate people with choice, because it just becomes too confusing or too much of a choice. I'm even thinking of not having a yearly plan because people think monthly. That's their mindset. So if I can just say, hey, it's this a month or that a month or that a month, then people can make a choice. And the easiest choice is always in the middle.
Yeah.
So 147. If I can point as many people to that as I can, then I'm happy. I'd be happy with 20% of all users doing something like the SEO. Because that magic number, 1,000 clients. If I can get 200 on that, whew, make me a margarita, son.
You're coming up to US and visiting us, huh?
Damn straight. Yep.
Awesome. So tell the group where you're from. I don't think we've even talked about that.
I'm Aussie. I'm an Australian. I was living in Canada for 6 years, and my daughter's there. I'm going back to Canada in about 6 weeks, actually. So hopefully I launch before I get on a plane. So I'll be up in Edmonton in Alberta. That's where my daughter is, and running it from there. Oh, wow. So I'll be a snow bunny. Every time it snows, I'll be getting on a plane to California or Florida or something.
Awesome. Yeah. So where in Australia are you?
I'm in Melbourne, which is down south. Yeah. We just had the Australian Open in January. It is the sporting capital of Australia. So there's lots of stuff going on all the time, all year round. We actually had Eminem recently play at the MCG, which is a massive stadium. It can have up to, I think it's something like 120,000 people. And Eminem broke a world record for most people in a concert just recently in my town. So, yeah, he had something like 110,000 people.
Dang, I didn't know he was still that popular. That's crazy.
He's pushing 50, man. Like,
I know.
And he can still rhyme. Like, good on it.
So you're going to be up there. You're moving there, and how fast? 6 weeks?
About 6 weeks. Yeah.
Oh wow. Hey.
Yeah. So big things coming. Everything seems to be happening at once at the moment.
Yeah, it sounds like it. What about your marketing? What do you plan on doing with that?
Good question. You know what? I thought I would typically go towards Facebook ads because you can really zero in on what you're really trying to achieve there.
Yeah.
But I thought of going back to basics and sort of embedding myself as an expert within the niche and going to industry events and doing talks, trying to offer, I guess, as much value as I can and see what trickles from that. Instead of just going in there and saying, hi, FinWeb Pro, sell. Just really offer something of value and at industry events and see how that plays out. Because I think sometimes we're very quick to move away from what worked and try to get into sort of newer technology like the Facebook ads. Sure, that'll be part of it. But yeah, I really want to sort of cement myself in the industry as the go-to guy. That I think will be a lot more valuable.
Are you going to target more of the Alberta, the Canada area, or are you going to stick with Australia or US?
Either or. Like, it depends on the revenue that I'm making. I'm prepared to get on a plane and go to London. Like, if the money's there, I'll do it. So yeah, as this business is not so zeroed in location wise. It could be, I could have a client in Australia, I could have a client in the UK, I could have a client in the States. So I don't want to limit myself to that.
So when you're advertising on Facebook, I guess that's kind of where do you think you'll target more local to where you're at, or you just?
I'll start local. I'll definitely start local and then sort of build myself out that way. Because there's mom and pop accounting practices and bookkeeping services in every town you go to. So I don't want to have that closed off to me. I want to be able to talk to those people as well. And 9 times out of 10, it's the mom and pop stores that make us keep going because they're the ones that see value. They don't want to go out and spend $5,000 and then $700 a month on a custom site and all that extra software lag and all those tabs open. They want that easier choice. And I think yeah, we're limiting ourselves if we don't try to help those people out.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're doing. We're literally helping people. Like
Yeah,
it's not so much a big sell. It's here. I've made your life easier.
that's the name of the game. I mentioned this in another video, but basically, Zig Ziglar said it best. The more people that you can help get what they want, the more that you'll get what you want, and probably what you do.
Exactly. I love that quote.
Yeah.
I heard a similar sort of quote the other day that really hit home for me. It says, "I'd rather $1 off 1,000 people than $1,000 off one person." And I think that's sort of what we're doing, right?
Yeah.
We're saying, hey, don't go to your local agency and give them $5,000 and then you're $5,000 out of pocket. Just give us some spare change and run with us, and we'll do you justice. I think that's sort of what we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me at this point in the game, it's also about efficiency. Like that is what we're doing, but in
Massive.
order to do it, you really have to focus on how can you get these sites out as quickly as possible, and more than that, it's like how can you put processes together so that you're not the one that has to put them together. That
Exactly.
you let someone else do it. That's really, I think, where the money's to be made, is creating systems or processes to make this as efficient as possible.
I definitely 100% agree with you. And when it gets to that, I'm guessing, and this is a total guess, I'm guessing maybe after 50 clients, that's when I'm going to have to start farming things out and either get someone remotely or hire someone full time, whether that's locally or, I mean, people talk about hiring people in the UK and in the EU. I've looked at the Philippines for cost effectiveness because number one, their English is amazing. They almost sound American.
They really do. Yeah.
So, and it's cost effective. So if I can maybe farm things out that way, either per job or per edit, I'll figure something out to make it as cost effective as I can, then I'll go that way. But I think up till about 50, I should be able to do it myself.
Yeah, because that you want to be able to put those processes together. So you need to be able to be hands on and see what works, what doesn't work, and how you can make it better.
I was looking at Trello too to see if I could map everything out so it's easy for someone when they come on board, like a Trello just job board, and say, you've done that, put it in the next section, put in the next section, put in the next section, just so the flow is easy to track. And
we have a lifetime deal with one called Tallyfly. That one you might want to check out too. I don't know if they still have LTD, but at least
what is it? Tallyfly?
Tallyfly, TALLYFLY.
Okay, I'll look that up after this. Awesome.
You put together a process, and they go through like a checklist, and they start checking things off the list. And that's something actually. Now I mentioned checklist, something we plan on building out here shortly. We're actually started on it. The WaaS-Pro. I forget what we're exactly calling it, but it's related to setting up a wizard, kind of like the WordPress.com, where you go through and you all your information in, and then that information automatically goes to Site Settings Pro. But anyways, that's not what it's about. But the goal is, the part what I'm trying to bring up is that it's creating that process to make it as quick, as simple as possible for a VA or whoever's going to do it.
I know specifically within my industry, it's Sarah, you take care of that, or Jonathan, you look after that. Like this is your thing. The business owner, specifically within my niche, and I think it's a common thing with business owners, is how do I farm this out to someone else? So they'll give it to the admin guy. They'll give it to the mechanic who's not doing as much. Do you know what I mean? So you want to make it as simple as possible. So having a Trello board or a Tallyfly board, even for the client, is a good thing too, which is why I really love the idea of the WaaS-Pro. I think the big part of this game is just making choices easier for people.
It really is, yeah. Making choices easier and just making the process efficient. That's the big game. And then pricing is always something we have to figure out too. I mean, that you can only really figure out by testing and seeing what your market will bear, without giving away the farm. There's just so many different things you have to be careful.
My biggest worry was where do I go pricing wise? And I think I found the nice happy place, because if you can't find value in what would otherwise be a $700 a month invoice at 147, you're crazy. If you can't find value in that, I don't know who will. But once it's live, the market will decide, I guess.
I think it comes down to too is your marketing message and how you put that all together so that you can instill that value in them, because coming to your site just first glance, that's not going to be enough. I think where we're going to be going is more video related. Like, you mentioned,
I agree.
yeah, where you mentioned earlier about how all those tools added up will be X amount a month. It'd be super expensive, but with your tool, it's only going to be 149 or 140, whatever the price is, 147. So when you do all the math for them and you show them the value and the stack that you have, I think that's when it becomes a no-brainer. But it's a no-brainer for you because obviously you know what's involved and what it comes with. But as a newbie coming to your website, like they're not sure what they're going to get. So
I think the way I'm going to sell it is not so much get a website. It's going to be more, I'm going to run with the whole value theme. So if I can sell it based on 5x your revenue, or what would getting 2 new clients a week mean to you, or something like that. You know what I mean? Instead of saying get a website for $2 a day, shit, everyone can do that. I really want to come from a place of more value and a return of investment, basically, than just a website.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely the best way to do it. So what is going to be your website address when you get it up and going?
It'll still be the same, financialwebpro.com.
And have you had anyone sign up yet?
I've got 12 guys, but it was completely niche, unrelated. And it was funny how that worked out. Like, I've only got like 2 clients within that niche, because the other 10 were all people that knew a friend of a friend and said, hey, this guy does this, and well, I can point you in his direction. And so I'm still getting like agency sort of stuff. So like, for example, the racing car driver, and I'm doing a life coach soon. I'm going to have a meeting with him. So I'm still doing, it's weird. As soon as I niched, the more quickly I got attention from people outside the niche, which was weird. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, but I really want to focus and zero in. Now that I've got a bit of a story attached to it. Yeah.
Have you had a chance to talk to your target market and the niche?
I have, and you know what? It's been nothing but good feedback. Because like I said, if an accountant can't find value for $1, then they're in the wrong trade. And they're all seeing the positives of it. It's sort of given me that extra drive to make it as easy as I can for them, because they're busy. They don't want to have this at the back of their mind. They just want it done. And they're either going to, if they're small enough, they're going to be like, can you just do it for me? Or they're going to be like, Sarah, you're at the front desk at reception. You answer phone calls. I'm sure you can find time to take this project on. Work with the web designer guy. Just do that. And they're either going to say, you do it, Nick, or Sarah, you work with Nick. And that's a very, very common factor I've found, is business owners are too busy. They're happy to make a decision, but they want it done for them.
Well, that's great. Is there anything else you want to add to this conversation before?
I think we've pretty much covered it. Let me just quickly review what I wrote down before.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'm not going to do a trial. I think, definitely no trials, because it is a done for you. Mm-hmm. That's the direction. So much as a DIY. If it was DIY, I'd consider it, but because we've got skin in the game if we're doing it for you, so they should have skin in the game too. And I don't think starting off at $67 a month is something to freak out about. So I don't want to deal with people who are going to look at $67 and say, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're not the client I want on board anyway. I see that as being a headache than
Mhm.
more than the client that's just be like, yeah, I see the value. Take my credit card.
Absolutely. What about a guarantee? Do you have like a 14 day, 30
Oh,
days?
yeah, I'll put something together along those lines. 30-day money back guarantee. I mean, we expect a month out of them, so I should give them a month back if they need it.
Mhm.
Um,
What
that's
about a
sort of.
setup fee?
I don't know where I'm going to go in that direction. To set up fee or to not set up fee, I'm not sure yet.
Hmm.
Because, like I said, you want to make this a no freaking brainer for people. You don't want to have them go, yeah, but $600 up front. Not sure.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know.
The way
I
we
think
kind of,
Michael will help me with that too. So
yeah. As you get into it and you start building them out, you really don't want someone to cancel after 2, 3 months and you've already spent all that time. So what we've done,
exactly.
that's what gets scary. So what we've done, we put, like we said, if you pay for a year in advance, you get 2 months free and to get the setup for free. So basically we're getting, if we
Nice.
charge $67 a month, we're getting $670 up front. And then every year we get 670
Okay.
bucks. And so
Well, that's a compelling reason to go yearly, right?
yeah, absolutely. And then you're setting it up for them anyway. So you're getting them. They're not going to cancel within a year. You at least got
How are
them.
you finding? Is that working for you guys?
Yeah, it's working great actually.
Yeah.
I originally started with 3 plans, kind of similar to what you're thinking. I had like one called Pro Page, which was a single landing page, and then we had one Pro Site, which was 5 pages, and then we have a third one, which was going to be Pro Store, which you're adding e-commerce. We just got rid of that altogether. So then I went back to, okay, we'll just have Pro Page and Pro Site. And so one was 49, one was 67. And what I realized is, oh, actually, you know what? There we go. I keep hitting the wrong button. I'm not even that important, to be honest with you. It's the same freaking arm. I just keep hitting snooze on accident, and after I hit it, anyways, I can't go back and change it. But now I hit stop, so we're good. We won't have that happen anymore. At least, yeah, we're good. So what I realized was, for me, I had the 67. So it started out with 49, 57, 67. Then what I noticed is I had a few people sign up at 57, and the only difference between my 57 and the 67 was I was adding the e-commerce, and I was also adding unlimited pages. Where the 57 you had like only those 5 pages, and that was it. And then what I realized is people were like, you know what, I'll pay $67 for unlimited. I don't know if I'll ever use it, but it's only 60. It's only $10 more.
$10. Right.
Yeah, yeah. And so I just decided, and then I had the other side of the spectrum where people are like, you know what, $67 is not much, but I might as well just do 57 because I don't see myself using it. Where they would have spent $67, but yet I
Exactly.
left money on the table because I had that other option. And so what I just done recently is took away all of my pricing options, and I just have $67. That's it. There's no landing page option. It's just you have unlimited choice. Pages. We give it
That's
5
just
pages.
what it is.
It's just what it is, and that's worked out really well because now
Because you're eliminating the choices, and I
totally.
think if you do that, that's the decision. Yes or no. It's not yes, but it's just
yes, but which one do I want? Yeah, it's just yes or no. We want a website, $67. Okay, let's do it.
bang.
No question. And it's now the only question that they have, or the only thing that they have to solve is, do they want to pay annually and get the setup for free and 2 months free, or do they want to pay monthly because they just don't want to get locked in? That's entirely up to them. But if you pay that, then you have to pay $4.99 for our setup fee. So it's like a no-brainer to just pay annually. I, like you, would probably prefer seeing checks come in every month. 67 it just feels better, than having that one chunk come in at 670 and giving away 2 free months. But at the end of the day, I think at next year when it comes, in 1 month I'm getting.
Oh, you'll feel it.
Yeah, it'll be awesome.
You'll feel it.
So my goal is just to start stacking them every month, sign up as many people as I can with the 670, so that next year I'm just getting 670 without having to do a whole lot of work.
Come April next year, you'll be floating.
Yeah, I'm hoping. That's the goal. But it seems to be working. It makes a lot more sense just having
It does. Yeah. Eliminate the choice, and it's working for you. That's cool. Yeah.
I know this is
now you put doubt in my mind. I'm gonna have to think about that setup.
It's all about testing, though. So you got to test what works for you, what doesn't work for you. And I know there's like a whole entire economics, subject behind this. Like you buy a ton of books about how to price things right and stuff like that. And they have the 3 pricing model. You want to give people 3 prices, and you want the top 2 price, the middle and the top one to be close to each other. So the top is like a no-brainer. I mean, they have all of these different, thought processes behind it and strategies, but I think it comes down to whatever works for you. And this one happens to, it seems to be working. I haven't had anyone say, oh, 67, I'm not going to get a website. Like if they were interested in getting a website, it's not about the price now. It's just, okay, sign up for a year and get it set up for free. Perfect. And what's great is I want to set it up for them anyways, because I've saw when I did DIYs, people were canceling because they didn't have the time to do it. Like it's hard enough for them to just put their content together to give it to me to put it, all together for them.
Isn't that a nightmare?
That is a nightmare. Like you make it
it's
easy
like
for them.
Sometimes trying to get
really
content from people. They're like, I've got it. I'll get it for you this week.
Yeah. And then what happens if you're charging monthly, $67 a month, come month 2, month 3, and they see their bill come through and they got charged for it. They're like, yeah, I'm not even using the service. I want to cancel. And that's what happened to a lot of our customers that we got on the board right away. So even if they paid annually, at least you got like a good 6 months without them seeing, you got the whole year really to fight together without them. Like,
it gets to month 9. They're like, we should come up with a headline.
But they're not canceled. They're already paid. So you're good to go. And you're just supposed to get it done within a year. So I think it seems to work. It makes sense, at least now.
Cool. No, you're making me reevaluate that whole kind of like having a setup fee, but not. It's you know what I mean? It's almost like a shift of sleight of hand. Like it's going to cost you this, but I'm going to give it to you for free if you do this.
Yeah.
And Can you see the value? Can you see the value? Buy this one.
Yeah, you're adding value, and it really is valuable. I mean, they really are getting something. So if you're doing it for $67 a month, you're already throwing it in for free. Now you're hoping that they don't cancel after month 2, 3 because they didn't have time to get their crap to you, and you've invested a few hours into the project, and you're kind of in a bad situation. So it just seems to make sense.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to definitely look at that. That's interesting. Yeah, cool. I've gone through everything I wanted to cover. If you've got anything else, mate.
No, I don't think I do. I think you actually had better bullet points than I did. I should put you. We talked about, you said no free trials, and then we mentioned the guarantee. The guarantee is hard because if you're doing it for $67 a month and you're saying 30-day money back guarantee, you're almost saying that's a free trial and they can cancel and you have your time invested. That's a challenging part too. I actually kind of stepped away from that and don't have a guarantee anymore, at least not for that. For my WaaS-Pro plugins, I do, of course. But when it comes to like actually putting your time into it, but I don't advertise I have a guarantee, but at the end of the day, if they're not happy, I'm going to give them money back. I don't want to keep a customer that's not happy with my services.
Exactly.
It doesn't do anyone any good. But
you don't want them to spread bad words as well. So you want to give them every reason to say, look, it didn't work for me, but it might work for someone else.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to give them over $67. It's not worth fighting.
It really isn't. I just refund them money and say, all right, good luck. So.
Yeah, exactly. Go spend $5,000 on a custom website.
Yeah, exactly. Or pay $10 a month and get Wix and figure it out yourself, and good luck with that.
And then get lost and frustrated and then come back to me crying.
Yeah. It's a no-win for them. They only have one way to win, and that's with us, right?
Bang. Exactly. It's a card game. It just depends on how you play the hand you dealt, right? So.
Yeah. Thank you for having this conversation with me. I'm glad I was able to answer your questions. I didn't even know that if you had any specific questions, but
no, that was my main worry was pricing with having all this. Since groundhogs come around anyway, it's definitely, like I said, a game changer. And I think going from $600 a month worth of stuff in different areas and centralizing it at $147, I think that's massive value. So I think I've sort of found my temporary safe place. Like I said, the market will decide. We'll see what happens.
Groundhog opens up so many doors in so many ways to market.
Massively.
Yeah, you can actually. You talked about SEO as a another service you can add on. Also with
Mm-hmm.
Groundhog, you can add on like the templates that you create for those, you know, niches. So here you're paying for the service, but if you want the templates that you just plug and play and you're ready to go, then that's going to cost you X amount of dollars, you know, or this much for
Yeah,
setup.
that's something else I haven't considered. Like I want to make it as hands-on as I can. That way, churn is less. People don't want to figure shit out anymore. They don't want to. They haven't got time. They haven't got the time or the mental capacity to sit down and learn something new. They're already busy. And if I can make this as easy as I can for them and just say, this is what we're doing, this is how it's working, people generally just look at you and nod, because they're paying you. They don't want to have to learn how to do marketing automation. They don't want to learn how to write a bloody email. They don't want to learn how to create a funnel, right? They just don't want to. Number one, it scares them because it's something new. Number two, they haven't got time to learn it. They're busy running a company.
Yeah.
And I think the more I can just say, this is what's happening to them and just show them what we're doing, the more happier they are, the more likely they're willing to pay a monthly or yearly fee.
Yeah, I think we take a lot of like what we do for granted. Like we are in the tech space, and so when a new tool comes into play and you have to do integration, it's easy for us to kind of pick it up and put the pieces together. But for a customer that's not in that on a daily basis, it's not as easy for them. And like for example, I can use like an example. I recently, when I say recently, within the last 6 months, gotten into doing Facebook advertising and making that a big part of my business, my agency side of my business. It was a wall to learn. You know, and now I look at it and I take it for granted because I can just jump into the ad manager and like I understand where things are and how things work. And obviously I knew the tech side of building a landing page and, you know, being able to put a pixel on it and all that, you know, that techie stuff. But when you think of it from a customer's perspective, they know nothing. And they're like looking at, if I thought I had a wall that I had to get over, they have a huge wall. And the same is like with Groundhog, you know, setting up automations. Like you can come up with different package pricing. This is what I plan on doing, is having like a startup automation plan where for X amount for your plan, you get this, you know, and if you want multiple automations, it's 3 automations, you get this, 5 automations, you get that. And what are these automations? They do this, this, and this. And you just like spell it out to them. And I think if you tell them, you know, show them a picture, I don't know if you do that, do video probably, if you do it through pamphlets or do it through like an infographic or something like that, where you kind of really like help them visualize what it is that it does and how it's actually going to help them and stay connected on an automated level. I think they're going to see a lot of value in that. And especially, I mean, you probably buy things like I do where you buy it with the intention that it's going to solve your problem automatically. Like it's going to be like that magic wand that's just going to fix all your issues. And we can be that magic wand, especially now with these, like being able to put together these templates and stuff. Like we do it once and then we can magic wand it into someone else's account and get, you know, that's a lot of value, Yeah.
Huge.
I would pay someone a big amount of money if they could just magic wand, you know, like residual income coming right, like and say, here's $1,000, bring me $20,000 a month worth of the new business for my WaaS, and I don't have to, you know, who wouldn't do that, right?
Every day of the week you would. I'd buy 8 of them.
Exactly. And so it's not a matter of not having money or, you know, like having a budget. People will talk about that. It's all about being able to add value to them. So on the back end that it doesn't matter. But so like, that's why I've changed, like converted my agency side to go more Facebook, because I feel like that is the area that you have more control. I mean, you don't never have control over anything really, but that one you have most control over because you can turn the faucet on or off however you want. Like SEO, it's not, I tell my clients, even though we're really good at getting our clients first page place rankings for like even hundreds of thousands of keywords, like or geo-targeted, it still is, even if I've learned this, we've gotten clients over 50,000 keywords on the first page of Google for different like keywords across the nation, right? But you would think, and I thought seriously, when I came out with this technology and this service, I thought I hit a gold rush. I thought I was going to be a millionaire because the first time I put the plan together and made it work, and I saw that I got 20,000 pages on the first page, or 20,000 keywords on the first page on my report, I was like, I'm in the money. I'm just like, going to take a bank with this, you know? But then and I thought because the phones are going to ring off the hook. And if the phones ring off the hook, they're going to refer me to everyone. It's like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Be able to charge for it. And SEO is not that like that, unfortunately. You know, you get on there because you're hoping that someone is going to find you, and then they search for that specific keyword. Like we focus on thousands of keywords or hundreds of keywords because it's like casting a net, because you don't know what keywords they're going to actually search for. So it's
exactly.
just, you know, so you try to cast the widest net as you can to grab as many potential opportunities as you can, but they still have to click on after they search, they still have to see your listing. They have to click on that listing. Then they got to take action. Whereas like a Facebook ad, you're like right in front of them, whether they were looking for you or not. You know, you target them specific based off of their demographic, you know, whether it's their age or their job title or, you know, what interest or whatever that is. And then you know that you're getting in front of the right people. You know, that's what I like about Facebook advertising. But that's hard to like incorporate into a WaaS model. I mean, unless you use your WaaS, like I'm thinking of using it more of like the WaaS is the introductory, just to get them in the door kind of thing. And then my money's going to be made more on the back end doing advertising for them, because that's where they're going to see their best results. If they give me $1,500 a month, I put 500 of that into ad spend. I keep $1,000 a month. And it's the same thing templates. You know, if I have a niche market, I can use that same template essentially. I mean, there might be some tweaking that has to be done because different markets might have a little bit of a different results. But for the most part, you can take that template, go to other ones. That's money right there. I mean, $1,000, you get 10 guys. That you don't need to get 1,000 guys. Now you only need to get 10 guys or 20 guys.
Yeah,
so that's the new business model for me. But WaaS is a part of that piece of that puzzle.
Yeah,
see how it all works. You know, lots to learn.
Oh, never ends.
Never ends. Oh, cool. Well, thanks for taking this call and jumping on with me. I totally enjoyed it.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.